Apparently, Kevin Tracker is at last depleted from the ceaseless battle with his ex Wendy Williams, and is prepared to set out his weapons word is on the road that Kevin doesn't trust that his endeavors to get the support installments back will succeed, and chose to drop his subsequent claim. Well, Wendy ought to set up a party, since her battle with Kevin is at last finished, however. Is it, or is this Kevin's decision to debilitate her consideration and divert her greetings, everybody? And welcome back to Celeb Live channel. I keep my eyes on the most examined occasions in the stage and continuously present to you the most sizzling updates. It seems like Paradise Tracker can never again proceed with his searching effort against Wendy Williams. Rumors from far and wide suggest that Kevin is genuinely and monetarily depleted and lost all desire to extract additional coins from his ex. So could Wendy at any point at long last say that she disposed of this bloodsucker unequivocally? Stay with me for the rest of this video to find out. So obviously, Kevin Tracker can never again manage every one of the difficulties and issues he is confronting and need to surrender his concept of investigating additional cash from his ex Wendy Williams. Apparently, his new legitimate group couldn't see as any soil on Wendy and suggested he drops the claim and drops all cases for cash. And it seems like he's going to pay attention to his new lawyers. Well, it's no time like the present. Kevin has been dismissing his concerns with well-being and family installments for some time now, since he made it the objective of his life to get his provision installments back, even in the wake of losing in court. He not entirely set in stone to battle until the end. Yet I surmise his new lawful group is more skilled and prompted him not to push this case forward and quit embarrassing himself. I simply trust it's one more stunt from Kevin and his fancy woman, Sharina Hudson, since this couple is equipped for making the most bold plans to dive into Wendy's pockets. When I speak, Kevin figured out how to get by without Wendy's checks for precisely 1 year. The divorce settlement quit coming in February 2022, and Tracker spent the biggest piece of his year attempting to sort out a better approach to guarantee his thought process was his. Yet Kevin was guileless to accept that he could control her and suck additional money from his ex. At first, he accepted that Wendy would be moved by his mishaps, and he endeavored to gain a bit of compassion from her, expressing that he has fallen behind on the majority of his bills and couldn't pay for his hip medical procedure. He stated, "My life has been significantly impacted since the offended party quit pursuing installments under our repayment arrangement." Yet he was inappropriate to expect that Wendy had any revenue in his difficulties. She personally struggled with recuperating from the results of her liquor misuse that Kevin had caused with his treachery and wasting. Assuming you recollect that he has spent the biggest piece of their marriage utilizing Wendy's millions to give his escort Sharina Hudson extravagance. And surprisingly, after the separation, he some way or another figured out how to persuade Wendy to send him month-to-month checks. Clearly, Miss Tracker accepted that he could supervise his ex around in the news. That provision was ended was a hard blow for him. He didn't hold back a solitary second to prosecute things and fault Wendy, who, by the way, had nothing to do with the divorce settlement, and to court. Yet the equity framework wasn't tricked by his story of burden, and the appointed authority denied his requests, so Kevin got beaten once more. And what probably been particularly hard for him is to return home that day to Sharina Hudson and declare his loss in court talk. Had it that Sharon even took steps to leave him on the off chance that he doesn't figure out how to accommodate her. Presumably, this was likewise the day when Kevin understood that Sharina cherished him just for the cash, and presently this man may be thinking what a gigantic mix-up he had made when he had chosen to undermine Wendy. Yet it's beyond any good time to be grieved, and presently he needs to confront the results of his past decisions. Many individuals will concur with me that possibly tricked himself when he expected that karma will constantly be his ally. One individual remarked, "Evidently, Kevin thought Wendy was a wellspring of endless cash." Entertaining supposition. He didn't remember to say for a blustery day. Anyway, time to raise a ruckus around town, fella. and find a new line of work. And someone else composed he and Sharina were in a real sense simply blowing through that cash. It's all so miserable and disgraceful. He didn't remember to save any of it as a pad in the event that something like this happened. He's an all-out numbskull. Well, definitely, obviously. Kevin isn't quite as savvy as he suspects, yet each and every endeavor to get additional money from Wendy fizzled, and now that she is in a good place again, and surprisingly, chipping away at new projects, Kevin can chomp his nails from distress on the grounds that nobody needs to hear from him or work with a man who might be been betraying his significant other for a really long time. His standing is as of now in remnants, and another legitimate group encourages him to quit coming after his ex's support. This should be exceptionally baffling for Kevin on the grounds that he earnestly accepted that Wendy was subject to him anyway. As a matter of fact, it's going against the norm, in addition to the fact that Hunter relied entirely on Wendy's installments. He even lost all business contacts when she separated from him. His lifelong companions transformed into his foes, and began to openly hammer Kevin for how he had treated Wendy, the ex-couple's common companion. Charlemagne thought God agreed with Wendy's stance in the story and pummeled her ex on his radio program, expressing that Kevin was nothing without his better half, and additionally, even his own child. Kevin Jur uncovered his venturesome activities and blamed him for demolishing Wendy's well-being and profound prosperity by the manner in which I as of late made a video about this present circumstance. So try to look at it. So returning to Kevin Tracker, while he was losing an endless series of companions because of his own errors, the main individual who actually stayed close by was his purported perfect partner, Serena Hudson. Yet after the court, even she became annoyed and confidence in Kevin, and began to pitch fits since they frantically required cash to support their lavish way of life. Sharina was not prepared to scale down and return to her fair presence. So this should be when Cain at last acknowledged what a gold digger she truly was, and that she is as of now not an escort that needs to conceal in a shadow, yet the primary woman in his life. She didn't conceal her disappointment with Kevin's horrifying acts, yet Kevin is by all accounts burnt out on these games following Sharina's lead, and pursuing Wendy negatively affected him, and clearly the circumstance with his hip is deteriorating consistently. I can hardly imagine how this individual lives in torment for the entire year, yet likes to pay his lawyers as opposed to specialists. Yet even with his new group of legal advisors, he will scarcely accomplish anything. He doesn't have faith in a positive result any longer, with everybody getting some distance from him. And the most destructive thing for Kevin is to see his ex carrying on with a blissful existence of a superstar in the midst of his own wretchedness. Watching Wendy arrive at new levels without him should be genuinely difficult for tracker sources. Guarantee that he is nearly despondency due to his hopeless reality, and is going to concede his loss. Many individuals would concur that Kevin just lost the entire year of his life attempting to pursue something never his one.